Hello, everyone. Welcome to ELI, the place where you get your daily dose of inspiration for entrepreneurship. And today we have with us Mr. Atul Monga, who is the co-founder of Basic Home Loan, which is India's first automated platform for secured lending. Hi, Atul. Welcome to ELI.
Hi Priya, thanks for having me on your show.
I would request you to introduce yourself to our audience and tell us a bit about your background prior to entrepreneurship and do mention things like where did you grow up and how was your education, where did you work before entrepreneurship, and how different events in your life converged towards entrepreneurship.
Sure. See, I'm a mechanical engineer turned investment banker turned corporate employee turned entrepreneur. So I've taken a lot of paths in my life. From my
Pivots.
education, yeah, I'm a mechanical engineer from IT Delhi. I graduated in 2009 and then started working as an investment banker. And I used to work in financial institutions group. Here I was helping a lot of banks and insurance companies with their M&As and IPOs
Mm,
based out of Hong Kong and then in Singapore. In the later part of my career as an investment banker, I helped a lot of fintech companies and Chinese, startups in their IPOs.
mm,
Uh, this was till 2015. I was, having this job, corporate job. One of the most sought out jobs in India currently is, to work like an investment banker. Then, my brother, he was running a startup successfully. He sold it to Snapdale. And then my cousin, he was the founder of Jaipur.com. So, it motivated me also to do something in India. And, one tip I got while I was working in Hong Kong through a friend that, what's happening in China right now, that was in 2011, will happen in India 10 years later. And I
mm,
think that was a right advice because in India, we had our first IPO in 2021 only for startups. So basically, that motivated me that a lot of things are happening in India. Why not I try something? And especially, I've seen success of entrepreneurship in my home only. So
mm,
starting out was not a taboo. So in 2015, I left my job, came back to India. Initially, I wanted to work with a few tech companies, startups to understand that how business works. Because in 2012, I started a company but was not able to scale it up. So that was a failed entrepreneurship thing I did. So I started working in the fintech space because that was more natural to my profile. Being a banker, fintech is something, and I've advised a lot of fintech companies earlier, so that was something which matched my profile. So worked
mm,
with few companies like Rubik and then at Pesa Bazaar. And during 2020, what happened was that during COVID, a lot of we saw this issue of people migrating to their homes, and because they didn't have enough rental complexes or living places in the cities. So that was
mm,
a huge problem which India saw. So that gave an idea of working on home loans. And again, I realized that a lot of startups in India are working on unsecured lending, that is personal loans and business loans, but not many, or in fact no one at that time were focusing too much on secured lending because it's a complex product. It requires a lot of domain expertise, as well as it cannot be 100% digitized. So you have to work on a digital kind of strategy, which we work on at Basic. So with that thing in mind, I started Basic. And we were lucky to have our first set of investors on our paper idea.
mm.
That was Picus Capital. So in 2020 started Basic, and it's been 3 years, and it's a roller coaster journey till now, and hopefully we'll be able to grow it further.
Okay. Taking cues from what you just mentioned, the secured lending is not a easy process to digitize, but I
Yeah,
think that's what you are solving for.
yeah.
Having said that, tell us about what are the different steps that are there in the lending process, why it cannot be digitized, and how you have solved a impossible problem.
Okay. Okay. See, generally people want to automate those businesses which are, fast in nature, like payments. You are paying to multiple people on a daily basis. So you want to have automation. But in mortgages, what happens is for banks also, the number of customers are limited. Means a bank might be doing at least, at max maybe 20,000, 30,000, 50,000 customers a month. It's not like lakhs of customers. So even if you are doing it through a branch-led offline model, that works. Secondly, there are some ecosystem plays in India. Like we don't have a database of mortgages or as in properties in India. So if I today want to know that whether this property is lendable, that whether it is technically okay and there is no legal litigation going on, so I don't have any means. I will have to actually go to the court to check it. I will actually have to send someone. Otherwise, you must have seen that famous movie Khosla Ghosla. That
Yeah.
happens in India. Property don't even exist. There might be multiple property papers, so someone has to go and manually check it. So
Uh,
that's the issue. So because we don't have that kind of database, that databases are now started to being built when people are doing registries. In fact, still in today's world in India, people avoid registries. They don't want to do registry. They even if they do registry, they do it at a lower value. That's a reality in the market. So you will not be able to get the value of the property properly. So these things have to be done offline.
mm,
And then thirdly, branch penetration of banks in India is very low. In fact, this is a data from RBI that if I see mortgages in India, about 60 to 70% of loans in India are done only in top five states. And this is the state-wise data which RBI gives me. If I have data on a city-wise basis, it will not be more than 10 cities. So that's the skewness. So branch penetration is very low in India. So that's why people in tier 2, tier 3 cities, especially in affordable segment, are not able to get home loans properly. Now in affordable, there is one more problem. Since it's a small ticket loan, so what happens is that unit economics through a branch-led model or a fixed cost model don't justify doing it. Although this particular loan falls in priority sector lending in India, and every bank has to maintain 40% of their books in priority sector lending. So what happens is that the whole year, sorry, for the whole year, banks keep on doing big ticket loans, and at the end of the year, they buy books from small housing finance companies. And that is the reason, if you see in India, there are more than 100 housing finance companies. And
mm,
this securitization is actually promoted by RBI because it is for the benefit of the customer that they are going into a better bank. So with these things, for a customer who is into a blue collar job in India, getting a home loan is a pain point. So we thought, and again, in COVID, we saw this was actually on our TV screens that
yeah.
people were migrating. They were walking to their homes in tier 2, tier 3 cities because they cannot afford a house in the metro city. So
Mm,
with that thing in mind, we thought that why can't we do something? Because there are 100 banks who are sitting with capital and they all want this priority sector lending. And then there are customers who need loan and who are god fearing customers. They will repay it on time. So
mm,
we can be that intermediary where we can provide quality customers to the banks,
mm,
and we can tell bank that we will take on your operational cost and we will convert those operational costs to a lower amount by using technology. Because it's difficult for a bank to implement technology across their branches due to a huge issue of change management.
mm,
So we can do that as a new entity. We can start working on technology. So banks will be benefited in this way that they won't have to spend extra premium to buy those books, and we will be creating it without using their branch infra. So that's the genesis of the business idea which we did.
mm.
And
Uh,
now, sorry, please go ahead.
no, my question is, having said that, how do you as a
Yeah, I was
platform
coming to that.
solve this?
I was actually trying to explain that only. So basically, what we have done is we have developed a phygital model. So what happens is when we get a customer on a platform, we assign them an agent. This agent can be anyone, maybe a DSA who's working in market, or maybe a chartered accountant or a financial advisor who has some understanding of finance. So we are not keeping our own workforce. It is an asset light model. So we give them this lead. They go to the customer house. They use my app. In our app, what we have done is we have tied up with 70 banks and we have digitized their credit policies. So they put the customer's demographic data, financial data, property data which they are buying, and then we fetch the CIBIL and other TransUnion score which we have in India, that data, and then we match the customer to the right lender. Since we have already front loaded the credit process in a way, so our login to sanction rate is very high. It's actually 75%. In fact, we are one of the few fintechs in the country who give guarantee of our job. We tell our customers that if we are not able to get you a home loan in two tries, because our login to sanction is 75%, so in two tries it should be more than 100%. So if we are not able to get you home loan in two tries, you get it from somewhere, we'll pay your first EMI. That's what
Mm,
our commitment is to our customers. And now once the product is selected, then we have some kind of tech intervention with the bank's lending system, maybe through a API or through other kind of tech intervention. We send the paperless application to the bank. Now after this, as a result, we get a financial sanction from the bank. So till this time the journey is completely online. My agent is doing through the app. After that, in India, RBI has a mandate that every bank has to get paper documentation done for home loans. So once the sanction is provided, we help the bank in doing legal and technical evaluation of the property, collection of documents. My agent do it all, and we give it to the bank for final disbursement. So for my customer, it's a completely digital journey, because they're sitting at home in the app only. They will get step by step tracking. They will get daily comments from my agent that what's going on in their application, which is coming, and then the comments coming from the bank system they will get in the app only. So for my customer, it's a digital journey, and for my we have our agents who are doing it. Think of it in this way that there are various food delivery apps. If you order food from there, they don't teleport it to your plate. Someone is actually bringing it, but in your app you can see where the food is there.
Correct.
You can see it on the map where it is coming. So similar kind of journey we have made for the home loan customers, that they don't have to go to the bank branch. They don't have to move out of their house. Sitting at home, for them it's a complete digital journey which we have created. And then these are agents who actually get paid on doing the disbursement with us. Now we have close to 10,000 agents on a pan India basis, and we are proud that we have created 10,000 indirect employment opportunities in the country.
Hmm. So, just curious, how does it the customer to agent mapping work? Like, let's say I am sitting in location X, and I sign up to your platform and I apply for a home loan. How do you find a agent who is there in my location? I might be in a remote place.
So, okay. So, as of now, we cover almost 30 cities where we are able to do the loans. So, these 10,000 agents are spread across that. And when we onboard an agent, we take, inputs from them about the location they can serve, what kind of products they can do, because we also do a bit of loan against property and home improvement loans. So, we take that input from them, and then our system map it to the relevant agent, just as are mapped to a relevant taxi in Uber or Ola.
Hmm.
Similarly, we map an agent to them.
Got you. And the other question that comes to my mind is discovery. How do customers who are interested in home loan, of course, how do they discover you and how do they establish trust with you? Because home loan is a big amount and
Yeah. I always say that it is home loan is one of the biggest, commitment you take in your life, and probably after your marriage. And
hmm,
your marriage might not stay for 15 years, but your mortgage will stay for 15 years.
true.
Okay, so it's a big commitment you have to take. So we have three major channels through which we source the customer. So when we started, we thought that no one goes in market to buy a home loan. People go in market to buy a house. So
Hmm,
what all touch points are there where a customer will go? So it can be either the property dealer who is selling the property to you,
mhm,
or maybe a chartered accountant to whom you will go and ask, I am requiring a home loan. Can you suggest me the right bank? Or maybe the person who is constructing the house for you. So we make them as our influencers. We call it as an influencer channel. So we ask them to refer those customers to us, and we'll give them some payout on disbursement. So they become my influencers. Second channel is direct online channel. So we do Google, Facebook marketing, and we acquire customers through that. And third, most recently, what we have started doing is we are directly going to the builders and tying up with them. So we tell the builder that, okay, when someone start a e-commerce company, they don't make their own payment gateway. Similarly, when you are as a builder are building a house, you don't have to worry about loans. We are your mortgage gateway. So till the time the loan will not be done, till that time you will not be able to book your revenue. You will not be able to get the money. So we will give them TAT guarantees through our app, through our technology. We are able to give them step by step tracking that what's going on in the application, and we acquire customers through them. So whenever they are coming up with a new project, we get that project approved from the bank. We get them RERA clearance, we get them all those clearance, so that they don't have to invest resources in those things, and in return they give me their whole customer base who are buying property from them. So we have direct integrations with them, or they are using my app to refer their customers who have booked the property, and then my agent will go to that customer and will help the customer in getting the loan.
hmm,
So these are the three major channels of our customer acquisition.
okay. So once the customer gets the loan, is there any further engagement that happens, like paying the EMI and handling defaults? Any such modules on that?
See, as of now, we are working purely as a broker. So our liability is only for origination of the customer. So we give it to the bank, then it is the bank's call whether they want to do the loan or not. So repayments, collections, and NPAs don't fall in our bucket. So we are not responsible for that. However, after we just did a fundraise, and what we are planning to do now is we want to take additional risk because we want to handle our customer further. So on a monthly basis, we get now 3,000 crores to 4,000 crores of applications, and we are disbursing 1,000 crores of loans. So remaining 2,000 to 3,000 crores of customers are not like that. Everyone is a bad profile. There are
Mhm.
few customers who are actually that kind of profiles for whom there is no product in the market. So we have identified few gap areas, and there we are creating our own product. There we will do end-to-end things. After disbursement, we will take care of the EMIs, we will take care of the collections, we will do everything, and obviously you'll be paid better by the banks in those products. We are entering those kind of relationships now. But having said that, as of now, the with 70 banks with whom we work, we purely work as a broker. Our job is to source the customers for them.
Mm. Speaking of new product, can you tell us, is it more of a NBFC and will you be underwriting the loan yourself? How does it work? What's the thesis behind that?
So we are working on a FLDG or a banking correspondent model kind of relationship with the banks, where we don't have to take a license, we don't have to become a housing finance company or NBFC, but risk will be proportionately given to us. So we are doing it as a POC, as an experiment. If it is successful, then definitely we'll take our own license and we'll grow this product.
Got it. Uh, then the other question that comes to my mind is the revenue. How do we make money as a venture? What's the different sources of revenue? Is it a cut from the loan or
No, no, no. We
how,
don't charge anything to customers. It's totally free of cost for them. And
then who
we
pays
don't
us?
charge anything to builders. It is totally free for them. And that's the reason when a affordable housing loan customer get to know that there will be a helping hand, and they will get loan sitting at home, they have a natural tendency to come to us. And we are paid by the banks directly. So on every successful disbursement, we are paid by the banks, and that's our revenue model as of now. Once we start our own product, then we'll be charging customers, but that will be part of the EMI which we are getting.
Mm. How did it all start? Initially, so it all looks great with a tech product in place with all the necessary integrations. But how did you start about building this venture? What were the initial few things you did? Did you start by integrating with banks, or did you start by onboarding customers? How did it all start?
First, first thing was we wanted to build a CRM. See, most of the CRMs available in market are built for e-commerce or general financial products. We wanted to have something specific for mortgages, so we developed an in-house CRM where there are four ecosystem players in this industry. First is the customer, obviously. Second is the builder who is building the house or inventory. Then the bank, and finally the agent who is doing the fulfillment. So we created in this way that all of them are updated are on the same page through this system, and everyone has their jobs defined. It's a gamified kind of platform, so they have to follow certain steps to get the loan done for the customer. So we started with that. After that, we started onboarding banks, and then obviously we worked on integrations with the bank, or developing tech solutions with them. In our first year of existence, we only had 10 or 15 banks, and over the period of next 2 years, we now have around 70 banks. And not all are integrated. With some we have to work on email automation, with some we have to share some common portals so that we can share data with between each other. It depends on the tech readiness of the bank. Those who are up the curve, like HDFC, ICICI, there we have their portals, or we have tech integrations where we can work directly system to system. But those who are currently not that developed, for them we have to build some tech solutions so that we can provide them right customer profiles.
Mm. So, one last question around the product. Why housing? Because secured lending is a bit diverse than housing, and there are very automobiles, there are cars, and now people are getting loan for mobile phones also. I'm not sure if they're secured, but why only stick to housing?
See, obviously there are two, three reasons for it. Number one, as I was working in the fintech space in India for 5, 6 years, I realized that the other markets are very crowded. But in home loans, there is no tech platform which is trying to build a unique solution. So it was a complete white space opportunity. If you see gold loans, there are enough players. If you see personal loans, business loans, there are many players. In phone, the phone for loans for the phone also, there are many players in the market. But there is no one who is building specifically for the home loans. Secondly, it's something which is a basic necessity of every human being. So demand is everywhere. In India, mortgage penetration is less than or around 10% or 11% now, and it is expected to grow at and the demand is growing at a CAGR of around 20-25% every year. So,
Mhm.
and it is estimated that current mortgage market is $300 billion in India, and in next 5 years, $300 billion more will be added. So it's a huge opportunity with complete white space that there is no one else innovating in this field. So obviously it was a right choice. And then the customer in our segment, affordable housing customer, he's actually in pain because
Mm.
in many places he has to go, he don't even know how to fill form at the bank, or even if he fills the form, he have to run after bankers to get the home loan done. And in many cases, he might even have to grease some palms to get the loans done. So there, if we can be that helping hand, it will not only be a profitable or a lucrative business, it will also be creating social impact in the country. Means our prime minister, Mr. Modi is always speaking about housing for all. Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana is there. So this is a sector which is favored by government also. So
Mm.
all boxes were checked over there, and so we thought it's a good solution which we can build.
Mm. So, I think you told us about the problem statement, solution, how we are making money as well. What are the future aspirations? What kind of company are we trying to become? You mentioned about the getting deeper into loan, but what else? What are the different pilots you are doing?
Say in short range, in short term, you can say we are trying to build our own product where we want to fill those gaps or loopholes for which product don't exist in India, and then successfully become a HFC ourselves, where we can have our own license and we are doing our own loans, and parallelly our brokerage business will be there. In long run, we want to be a complete home setup services company. So we will also like to enter into real estate offering, and in fact a pilot which we want to do next year, and one more pilot which we have started is for home setup. So once you so we have created a marketplace where we have various home setup services player like furniture players, modular kitchen products are sold on that platform. And then you have people who are doing carpets at your home, or cleaning services. So what we do is, our vision is that after 4 or 5 years, or in that time frame, it should be like this, that the customer come to me with two data points, that this is my annual income and this is the locality where I am looking for the home. So first I'll get him a home loan sanctioned, and then I'll help him in buying the property, and then finally even help him in getting the home setup done. So we will be a complete home solution company for the customer. That's the vision.
Got it. Uh, any challenges so far? I'm sure there would be big
There are
challenges.
many,
But tell
obviously.
us some of the very interesting challenges that you have faced so far, and how did you overcome them?
See, in the beginning when we started, banks were not ready to tie up with us because we're a new player. It was difficult for us to convince banks to use technology because, see, I should be saying it, but it's a fact. There is no visionary sitting in a bank. Means there is a
Mm,
person who has a target. If you can
correct.
contribute to that target and you have vintage with that banker, he will open all the gates for you.
Mm,
So, this is a business where you have to be patient. You have to build a vintage with the bank. So now we are doing more than 100 crores with many banks. So what happens is that there now we have a grip, now we have a vintage with them, that we can ask them to create some co-products, or we can help ask them to use some new technologies. But in the beginning it was very difficult to convince banks. Then obviously our model is something where we are having influencers. The first thing we started with was the influencer business. So it was difficult to train people that how they will refer us leads, and then we are giving it to other set of agents for fulfillment. So to bring them all on a common platform, that was something which was problematic. And obviously from past 2-3 years, tech hiring is always a problem. It's difficult to get the right set of tech people so that you can build your product. So there are many, but I think these are the major problems we faced and still facing. Yeah, there are in many scenarios we are trying to work on it, and hopefully we'll be solving them in future.
mm. And any big success story that came out of your venture, both from the homeowner point of view and from bankers point of view as well.
See, homeowner we have various stories. You know, every day we get to hear about some new news. Like I'll tell you, we do business in Jaipur. So we got to know about a customer. So he needed a loan of 15 lakh rupees. So we
Mm.
got him a sanction letter. We got him the final check of 15 lakh rupees. And he was like, oh, I should have asked for 18 lakhs. So I was like, why? Because he said that you will take 3 or 4 lakh rupees out of this 15 lakhs as your commission. As you rightly pointed out, that, you know, we'll take money from the other. So when we told him that we will not take anything from here, so from your money, it's free of cost for you, he was like, you know, delighted. So you know, those kind of things actually help us or motivate us to do more. And then one of our customers, it was a, you know, widow lady with the only son. So we helped her in getting a home. So she was very happy that now she said that now she's secured in her life, because she can even work as a tailor in a small shop. And once her child will be in the college going age, then she has this security that through whom she can actually fund his education. So these kind of things come on a daily basis. And customer side, a lot of success stories are there, because, you know, home is something which is very dear to us Indians. Means it's not only a place of dwelling, it's a place where you build your whole world around. So
Mm.
when you we proudly say that, you know, this 3,000 to 4,000 crores of applications we process on a monthly basis, which is somewhere close to $500 million. So we actually write it in our pitch deck or in our presentation that we are serving $500 million worth of dreams every month, because home is
Mm.
a dream for everyone.
That's
So
true.
and on the banking side also, you know, we have worked with many banks. We have worked on their tech integrations. We have worked on bringing new customers for them. We have even started some new geographies for them. So yeah, it's keep on going, and have seen good successes in both the sides.
Mm. So, Atul, my final question. You have worked in the IPO, you have worked as a investment banker, you also worked in startups and now doing startup for last 3 years. What are some of the biggest lessons or the lessons of your life rather that you have learned that other entrepreneurs can take away and probably apply to their ventures?
I actually answered this on some other platform also. See, when I was working in other startups, I was always hesitant that whether I should go ahead to start something or not. So, you know, always I was clouded with many problems. I believe that, you know, you have to take a bold step. You have to be brave. The reason is you might have 100 problems in front of you. You have to start solving one or two in the beginning. Then people will keep on, you know, joining, and they will solve the remaining problems for you. So
Mm.
you have to start that mass rolling. So if you have an idea, you believe in it, I believe, just go for it. And especially in today's world, when especially in today's India, I'll say, when there is so much liquidity available, when entrepreneurship is not seen as as something that you don't have a job, so you are starting on your own. So
Mm.
there is so much to do, and the ecosystem is actually supportive. There's so many entrepreneurship events happening, you know, podcasts happening on each entrepreneurship. So people support you a lot. So it's nothing to fear. Just be brave and just go out in market, and people will come and join you and solve the problems for you.
Well, on this note, we'll close the session. Thanks for your time, Atul. Thanks for joining us. And it was an absolute pleasure to have you on our platform.
Same as sir.
Thank you.
Thanks.